Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm getting really back into doing things with my dolls, kind of steering away from the K-pop content for a little while, thinking of maybe actually starting a separate channel for K-pop, just haven't really confirmed that yet, so don't hold me to that. I'm getting really back into American Girl dolls, getting fully immersed. I'm taking this weekend to make a bunch of videos, and the first video I'm making is how to edit doll photos in the app Procreate. This is a drawing app for digital art. I have used it for digital art. I've done some really cool photos with it, but also it can be used for photo editing. I will show at the end some examples of my photos that have been genuinely used by, like, the editing is done in here, some of it at least is. It does cost $10 for the initial purchase of it, but I'd say it's worth it. There's no in-app purchases. At least I don't think so. It's great for if you love art, and also it's great for YouTubers to edit dolls. I'd say it's definitely worth the $10. I'm going to be using this photo that I took a really long time ago of Paris when I first got her, so over a year ago. And I'm just going to be showing you 3 different things you can do. You can also use other brushes for like overlays, like I will demonstrate that in one of the example photos. This is just kind of how to do these 3 effects, which is lighting, any light effects you want, makeup, and then like hair and clothing, I guess. So let's get into the clips. So to start with some lighting effects, there are a lot of lighting effects that you can do, and make sure that you always have another layer so that if you need to erase something, you're not erasing the photo. So we're going to start with how to do bokeh in this. So go to either the lightest or close to the lightest on the color, and then you can just very lightly go over. I wouldn't recommend going too dark because then it starts to look like that and just looks a little extreme. But the bokeh effect is really fun to do very lightly. You can probably also figure out some way to do it with putting it behind a doll. Then the next one is the flare. This also works as like bursts of magic too. I used it in my Harry Potter photo that you'll see in a minute, but you can just like tap and then put it anywhere you'd like. And then the next one is the kind of light pen or light brush. They kind of have both the same effect. They work best for like magic things or even just bursts of light. I'm using it in a blue color. This works well if you want also to do like a neon kind of effect, or you want something to kind of glow in a certain color. The light brush is definitely for if you want like a big streak of something. I used it in a Star Wars photo to make it look like a lightsaber. Then you can also use the glitter, which is under the luminance section, as makeup or as pretty much anything else. I'd say go to a decently small size depending on how pixelated your photo is. I guess this kind of just applies to makeup, but it's under the luminance section, and I think it looks really, really cute actually. Once again, always just make sure you're on another layer so that you can erase this, or just click the undo button as well, is also nice. So next we have makeup, and for makeup, for the layering, I'd say just do multiple layers for different things. So we're going to go ahead and start with some eyeshadow. So I'd say go to the painting. You could probably also use airbrushing. I'm going to use the flat brush. Once again, you could probably also use round brush. So that's kind of the color I'm going to be going for. And it's going to be its own layer, and then I'll kind of talk about this more after. And yes, I know it does look non-realistic right now. Sometimes you can also blend it out to make it look a little more realistic. But then once I have like my foundation for it, I click the N and turn the opacity down to however vibrant I want it to be, and then sometimes I'll take like the blending brush and then I'll like add another layer for the next piece of makeup. So we're going to do eyebrows now. And for the eyebrows, I just kind of trace over in the color I want, kind of lightly. It doesn't make too big of a difference if you trace over them, but you can also like trace over them in like a different, like you can actually do the stroke marks, but this is just easier to demonstrate. Once again, turning the opacity down. You can also, I realized, so here's the lips, and while I'm just filling the lips in, I forgot to do eyeliner and mascara, but those are pretty self-explanatory. This is pretty much just showing. Then I tried to do like the shine on the lips, but I realized that's probably actually better for its own layer, because the opacity for that just kind of has to be turned down to a certain different opacity. And so just kind of this part is just kind of me fiddling around with that. But lip color I think is actually a really, really, like if I have to like edit something for a lighting effect, and I have to go into the Procreate app, then I'll probably just go ahead and also do a lip coloring, because dull lip colors are nice, but it's a little nice to have it a little more defined, in my opinion. So I don't know if in this clip I eventually realized that it just needs to be on its separate layer. I think I just left it at that. Or maybe not. I added a different layer. Okay, so moving on, I guess. Freckles. So I'd say go to the round brush, because then you can just do little dots or little circles. And you can do them in different colors, different shades. You can kind of blend them, which I think I tried to do here, but it wasn't really working the best. I guess that's all for the makeup that I recorded. So on to the next part. And the final little like tip I have is hair, clothes, and nails. So we're gonna start with hair. You can just choose a hair color that you like. Once again, make sure it's a separate layer. And then I just go with the flat brush. It kind of depends on what kind of texture you'd like and where you'd like it to be. I decided to just do a streak for this, and you guys kind of trace around the area that you want. I've only used this 1 or 2 times. Most of these things, like when tracing over hair or clothing, can also be applied to things like accessories and pretty much anything. It's pretty much just you fill it in, and then you can change the opacity. As you saw, I used color fill, and then just changed the opacity to be how much I want it to be, and then you can kind of just blend a little bit. I use the airbrushing brush for when I need to blend some things. Sometimes it works better than other times. I think it definitely looks the best when you have a full head of hair. Then for clothing, she's just in these pajamas from American Girl, and I just wanted to show that you can pretty much just trace around whatever area you'd like after creating a new layer. So I just kind of outlined the area that's going to be green, and then dragged the little color thing to color fill it, and then changed the opacity. I'd say around 65% for different like things, but for makeup probably like 65%, but closer to like 30s. It depends on the color too. And then you can just fill in any other area you'd like, but sometimes I find it's just easier to originally fill. You can literally just trace it anywhere. And then I just realized that nails, I needed to show nails for some reason. I feel like nails go kind of unnoticed in most doll photos, but this one I just decided needed to have some nails, and you can just kind of trace around the fingernail part. And then I have done a doll photo where that is prominent. Now let's get into some examples that I've like edited on Procreate and showed like the layers, and you may recognize some of these doll photos. Some of them I've submitted into contests. So this is just kind of showing you different effects in use where it's not just a demonstrative one, it's actually in use for a purpose and a photo. And so let's get into some of those examples, I guess. Okay, so starting off with one of the most heavily edited photos you will see. half of this was editing. I took this with my friend. Her YouTube channel is Simply Artsy. Go subscribe. Here are all the layers. It's supposed to look like these dolls are in like a magical, mystical fight. So this layer for Rowan was like some glitter on her face. Those wings are actually real. We made them. But then here we have like this little magic war, and the unicorn horn was fake, like the outlining, and the wings were fake. And then we have one of my favorite photos I've ever taken, this Harry Potter one with the Harry Potter outfit. Pretty much the only thing was the little flare that's in the luminance section, that little flare right there. To make it look like this adorable little spurt of magic, I guess. I can't show the layers because this actually isn't the original one. I couldn't find the original one. And then we have this one. The text is not from Procreate. The text is edited in Canva. It's supposed to look like a Sephora ads. Was for Joji B10's photo contest Green Week. It does have not a lot of layers. The makeup was all on one layer. Then if we zoom in on her face, the lips were a different layer, but you can kind of see all the little green details because the opacity was kind of just all the same. Then we have the dress that was edited green, and her lips look very smooth. I really, really love this photo. And then we're going to get into one of the, like, probably not the most, but one of the most edited ones, because this is supposed to be recreating AGOG doll's like profile picture, and I didn't have a Luciana doll with the purple hair. So it does have quite a lot of layers because the sunglasses were also a different color. And the backpack was. And I thought it'd be interesting to show you guys what it's like if you remove all of these layers. And so this is what the original photo looked like. And then when you add them, you can see the glasses changing, just everything changing, and then boom, the purple. And I guess that kind of just wraps up this video. Hope this was helpful for any of y'all who just like started to use Procreate. I don't exactly know what I was doing here. I'm just talking about the outro while this is like showing all the opacity. So I hope this was helpful for any of y'all who are just starting. Be sure to like and subscribe and comment down below. Bye!